Hi, I'm Mikel and this is the Rigging Sandbox, a new section for the mGear YouTube channel where I will be talking about, guess what? Rigging. But not only rigging tutorials, also I will be talking about rigging supervision, like task management, team management, rigging productivity, tips, and much more. For this first video, I will be adding a new facial rig for the Spiderverse rig that Jirawat did last year. So let's jump to Maya and start with this tutorial. First things first, shout out to Jirawat and Yanin for the original rig and model. The model or the rig was posted the first time in 2019, and it was really successful because many animators use it for this anime challenge that was in this anime challenge group in YouTube. Sorry, in YouTube, not in Facebook. And even the director of the movie, Peter Renzi, he retweeted the rig, so it was like a big achievement. Janine did the model, and here is the demo reel of the making of the rig. I'm sorry, the model, and it's quite amazing, all the details and how well done it's, all the topology and everything. So again, thank you very much, Jirawat and Janine, for this model, and I will try to update this and make it a little better, but all the hard work, all the base it's from you, so thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with the rig. So I have here the rig that I prepared up front. By the way, Jirawat sent me this model with the original guide, so I didn't make this guide from scratch, and I will be reusing all the Jirawat work. So what I did is I already exported everything, all the data that Jirawat created, the corrective lane shapes, the skinning, and I have created here a few custom steps. So I have the import skin, I have the import shapes, and I have these ghost limbs show height connections. So it should be exactly the same rig that you had before if you were an animator. And I will be adding the facial controls to these eyes. So let's build the rig right now. So I'm just gonna build. Okay, so we have the rig built here, and as you can see, it's exactly the same rig that we had originally. And let's focus on the facial. So I'm just gonna, for the moment, hide the joints. I'm just gonna hide also the guide, and I have the facial here where I have my IK control that move all the head. I have this FK control, and then I have these controls here that are meant to bend the character or to bend the head of the character. So I have these ones that creates this kind of shape, and these ones here that can create like squash and stretch and effects like this. So what I want is to create some controls that will control the shape of the eye and also to move the eye over the mask. So for that, I'm just gonna I'm gonna create like few controls here. So let's say this one, it's gonna help us to control this silhouette, and also I will have like a main big control here on the center that will be parent of all these controls here. And I want that when I'm, and I don't know, let me choose another color, like maybe yellow. So when I slide this on these directions, whoops, not this one. I just want that the mask slides on top. So I don't want that this mass or this eye that have this curvature here, it gets intersect or lose the let's say the um, the the alignment with the head. So in order to do that, the process is gonna be the following. So first, I'm just gonna create the first control. So I'm just gonna create the controls on the guide. Then I will create a local rig that is gonna be under my let me see, under my root setup here. I will create this local rig that will contain all the deformation, and later I will pass the deformation as a blend shape to this final deformation, so we can keep this extra deformation without losing the effect of sliding. So let's see how it works, because to be honest, I'm not 100% sure that it's gonna be like totally like error proof. Like, you may find some situations where it's not sliding correctly. Probably when we get a weird deformation and we try to slide too far from this original skinning, it's not gonna match perfectly, and you will see later. But first, let's redo the guide. So I'm just gonna delete the rig itself. I'm just gonna jump here, and I need to get rid of this blend shape node, and also I have a little script I used to clean unused nodes, so it's gonna give us some, well, here it didn't delete anything, but sometimes there is some leftovers that need to be cleaned. Okay, so let's go to the guide, and the first thing I want to do is add the eye. So I'm just gonna create mGear shifter, the guide manager. And because this is going to be originally a local rig, I don't want to parent this directly to here. I'm just going to create a separate structure for that. So I just select the guide root and go into my control 01. I have the control here, and I'm just going to call this eye base, and it's going to be left. On the settings, I don't want join for this one because it's gonna be deformed by the others. The control, let's put circle, no uniform scale, and mirror. So I'm just check all these three and check the last one. I keep the rest as is it, and just let's place it there. I'm just gonna move it roughly around the center of the eye. Just just scaling. By the way, I'm using a plugin or a tool called Create Lesson that it's showing you some stuff while I'm working. Like here on the left bottom, you will see my hotkeys when I'm pressing the keyboard. So probably it's not gonna be really useful because the my hotkeys are really customized, but I think it's gonna be useful in the long term, like to see how much hotkeys I use. Okay, so this is the center. So I'm just gonna duplicate this one. I'm just gonna place it there, and this is gonna be, this is the eye base. So I want this, like, I'm not gonna call eye, but just gonna call profile, and this is gonna be index 0. This one I want the joint, and the rest is gonna be the same. So just close this. So I'm just gonna put one here in the middle, then I want one on the corner. So around here. I didn't duplicate. That's okay. Just now I do the duplicate. So the corner is gonna be index 0. Okay, so now I have these 4 controls that need to be child of this one. So this is what I get. And for these ones I will change again the control shape to something like the diamond, for instance. So I'm just gonna call diamond. This one also diamond. Oops. And diamond. Okay, so I have now all with the name diamond. I'm just gonna build this part, so just using my hotkey and just building this one. So I have these elements, and what I want here is just selecting these points and I'm just gonna adjust the shape, something a little more, oops, close to the original shape. I don't want to adjust too much the curve because you will see later when we slide maybe get intersected, so it's better if you keep something more flat. Okay, same here. I'm just gonna select all the points and using scaling from the center of the object, I'm just gonna make it smaller. Okay, cool. So I'm just now need to extract the controls, and now next time when I duplicate symmetry here and I build this one, I can reuse the left side to the right side, but we will do that later. So for the moment I just want to extract. That's done, and delete this one. I'm just gonna save a new version, so we jump to version 5, and that's it for the moment. So I have this done, and the next thing I want to do is go on the deformation part and explain you what we want to do, because we want to do 2 things. One, it's we want to slide the controls closer to this surface, so when we move this it gets like aligned to the surface, but also we want to slide the eye against the face, so it gets perfectly aligned. In order to do that, we will do 2 types of sliding. One is the control sliding, that is going to be against NURBS surface, and the other one it's going to be like the polygon sliding, that we will use the string wrap. So first need to create the surface. To create a surface, just go to create NURBS primitive and just go for the plane. So I'm just gonna get the plane there. It's gonna make it bigger. Not that big. We can adjust this later, but and now just gonna add some subdivision like this, and I just want to adjust manually all the curvature first, and then I will use another nice, this one, nice. Okay, Maya, can you, okay, nice. Sometimes the hotkeys get stuck. Okay, it's completely stuck. I'm not pressing any hotkey, but the hotbox, the marking menu is showing up. Okay. Okay, something like this. And now I'm just gonna create the deformation. So this is gonna be shrink wrap and to the closest. It's gonna get this kind of deformation. That's okay, just make it a bit like this. Close. And yeah, something like that. Now I'm just gonna repeat again the same process. So shrink wrap, and now when I scale, you can see it's gonna adjust better around here, around there. Okay, I think it's good around there. And now just manually adjust in there. So here the most important is not like to get a perfect match between both of them, but the overall volume that should be exactly the same. So this is the controls is gonna be sliding on the top of this one. I'm just gonna call this slide surface or something like that and hide it for the moment. Now I'm just gonna go and duplicate my body or my head if it's a head. And from this one I just want the head part, so just let me cut this. Just gonna grab this and yeah, like this, invert selection, boom, and get this back. So I have my head slide, and this one we can subdivide it, so we're gonna get a better like deformation like this. So I'm just gonna add directly the smooth and maybe 2. It's quite high, but we don't need to deform this one. So these 2, it's gonna go on the local rig, and it's gonna be sliding on top of the other one. Okay, so I have this one. Just create a group that I'm gonna call this I setup, and these 2 elements go inside. And well, we don't have yet the rig build, but this is gonna get later under the rig. For the moment I'm just gonna hide this, and now I'm thinking this is all I need for the moment. So I'm just gonna build again the one more time I'm just gonna build only this, the eye part, this one. So building this, what I'm gonna do is just mirror the control shape. So again, I'm just selecting this one, and under the rig bits we have one called mirror control shape. Just from selection, mirror the other one, and now we can extract everything, and next time we build it's gonna be all correct and set in place. I'm just gonna save another version. Remember, save version from time to time. You don't want to get nasty surprises. This video is gonna be a bit long, so just be ready also for that. Okay, so we have that. Boop, boop. Okay, I'm just trying to don't forget anything. I don't want to give you a clunky tutorial where I'm go back and forward. Okay, so we have the sliding, we have that. Okay, I know in advance that I'm gonna need a duplicated eye and left and right eye, so I'm just gonna duplicate it up front and just keep it for me here under the eye setup, so I don't need to duplicate later. Okay, so So let's build again. Okay, so the rig is one more time, it's finished. And now we have the eyes, but the eyes are completely separated from the main rig. So that's okay, because we will do a local rig first using these controls. Then I will duplicate the controls using one like function that we have under the rig bits module on mGear that creates what I call the ghost control. So basically creates a duplicate of the control and connect all the local attributes, all translation, rotation, and scale. So that's a ghost control. Okay, for the moment, just hide the guide again. Just one more version. So we're gonna go up to hundreds of versions here. Okay, so it's safe. Boom, boom, boom. Now we can go to our rig here, and we can see we have the eye base, these two. This can be also under the eye setup, and the eye setup can be under the stop local rig. So this is the right organization. We can also put the year root under. So this is pretty manual right now. Normally what I will do is create custom steps for everything here, and I will automatize this. So this it's not going to be covered in this tutorial, but it's the correct way to do it, just in case you need to rebuild something or change stuff, or in a real situation like in a real production where you may have many changes. You don't want to do it like this. This is just for the tutorial. Oh yeah. Okay, so you have that. The good thing now is that we can hide this and show this one, and we can work on that one. So let me think a little bit. So I'm gonna create first the ghost controls. And in order to create the ghost controls, I'm gonna just have here a little note, so you don't need to see me typing all the time. But basically what I'm gonna use is some snippets. Let me just copy paste this. So this snippet here, okay, and yeah, don't forget the import. So I need to import this and this one. So just hiding this. I'm not gonna hide this. So basically I'm just gonna create one by one the ghost controls. It's not too many. We have like 9 controls in total. So 4, 5, no 10, sorry. So you need to start from the let's say the parent and later the child. So in this case I want this to be, I'm just gonna save this before, so don't mistake anything. So child of this one. So I'm just gonna run this, and I hope I don't mistake. Yeah, so it's done there. So now if I check this, let me yeah, I should have 2 there, so perfect. So this one is the eye control that it's under the bend. So you can see it's here under the rig, and the other one is this one that was the original one, but now it's renamed as ghost. So this is the ghost control. So now it becomes ghost. And let me, just for the example, just gonna make the control a little smaller so you can see there's 2 controls there, and basically this one controls the local transformation of this one. Simple as that. But now the big advantage is that this is on the, let's say, on the world center, so we can do a lot of stuff here without moving the head, and later transfer this information to the main object, that is this eye, with a plane shape. Or well, you can connect directly the input and output of the geometry if you wish, but I prefer normally using the plane shapes connection, because sometimes I plug more than one connection to one single geometry, so I don't pipe always linear. I try to converge sometimes a few connections to one shape. Okay, so that's it. Let's continue with the other ones. So here what I need to do is one by one exactly the same thing. So connect. Okay, so the connection is done. And basically now you can see here that I have these controls that it looks like it moved together, but as soon as I move the head apart, you will see clear here that is two elements or two sets of controls, and one move the other one, but only on the local. So if I move another, like the parent, it's not gonna affect the child. And that's the goal of this setup. Cool, so we have that done. Save again, don't forget to save. And let's continue. So this first thing, it's done, it's this one. Now the other thing I want to do is to create the sliding effect. And to do this ghost sliding, I just need to create this like little setup. Then I also have a little snippet, of course. We don't want to type here too much. I'm just gonna brute force copy paste this, and I have this snippet. So I was using it for sliding a month before, so I'm just gonna repurpose this one for my eye right now. So slider surface name, so just slide surface. Oh, this is exactly the same. The this is the where is the setup root? So in this case it's here, so I'm just gonna name it as one, and here I'm just gonna use my controls name. So I want to use the ghost controls, that's important. So I'm just gonna grab this one. Yeah, so you select this one, so I'm sure I'm selecting the right one. So I basically just duplicate this. Oh, I don't have my hotkeys in this one. Okay, and now just paste, and this is 0, 1, 2, 3. And the surface is this one, and the snap root is this one. Again, I'm just always save. Be sure every time you save. So especially when you run scripts like this, maybe sorry, maybe there is a loop or something that creates many steps for the execution, and then when you try to undo, it's not only one undo. Obviously if you open and close undo chunks, it's well controlled, but in some situations you will find that needs several undos to recover your original status. So take care with the scripts. Okay, so now I just want to run this. Was fast. No, it's still thinking. I think it's quite slow with the recording. Normally I use Camtasia, but for this recording I'm using OBS, and I guess maybe it's a bit heavier than Camtasia. Anyway, so I have this first one, and now if I move this one, check it out what's going on. Do you see the difference now? So my controls now are not pulling like before. They are sliding on top of the surface, and to be exact, on this surface. So be careful here. If you make your surface too small, when you reach the extreme here, you see this one, it's gonna jump there on the and get like stuck on the border. But if it's a normal like let's say range, it should be working correctly. So cool. If you want to check how it works, you have the source code on the mGear source code, so you can check how it works. Again, this is not the goal of this tutorial, so it's not gonna go deep on this part. And now I need to do the same for the right side. So again, just super handmade. Replace my right by left side and execute my script again. Just be sure it's in the reset position before you execute it. Just something can go crazy if you don't do it. Okay, so I have my other part done. Cool. So this is working. So we have the sliding working on the controls. And let's see how it works with that. So I'm just gonna create a quick skinning. So just save again, save always. Just ng skin tools, of course. And for this one, let me check. My joints are here, so I'm just gonna select this one, this and this. So these four, and I'm gonna use this one. Here I didn't make the design, but normally what I recommend here is that you have these two sides merge, combine, and then when you do the skinning you can mirror to the other side. In this case I'm gonna just make it in one side, and probably I will do like an intermediate object that just it's gonna be used to copy the skinning and mirror it. But for the moment just I'm gonna do one side. And okay, so now it's done the skinning. I'm just gonna initialize that. So paint. Wow, this is really slow. I think I'm gonna change soon to the oh no, that is scaring me. Okay, one second, I'm just gonna change software. Sorry for the interruption. You may find a little difference in the sound or something, but I just changed it to Camtasia, so hopefully it's gonna be less laggy. So here I have the skin I did. I'm just gonna quickly do smooth, so just to have something approx. And let's see what we get with this skinning and this setup. So I'm just gonna show my controls again. Remember, these ones are the good ones. And now I can slide, and you can see it's not that bad. So when I slide this, you can see here that it's sliding, but obviously we have 4 points of deformation, and even the controls are keeping like the, let's say, the normal of the surface. In some situations, yeah, the deformation is not good and it's crossing here, but it's quite accurate. And just for the record, I just realized that we have baked the ambient occlusion here, and that is gonna be a bit weird when we move the character, that we see the shadow here. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. I didn't realize about this before. I don't know, but yeah, for the moment, for the tutorial, it's good. But maybe when you move that, the animator will say, hey, the shadow is still baked there. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna remove my skinning, or yeah, I'm just gonna remove it for the moment. So I'm just using my marquee menu, unbind, and all clean. Okay, now what I want to do is use the other sliding with the shrink wrap. So the combination of these two is when we will get the real like sliding nice thing. So first I need to create a few duplicated. So this one, just gonna call it neutral. That is gonna be the original one. The next one, it's gonna be the let's say the string wrapped. So I'm just gonna add the suffix sw, and the other one, it's gonna be the let's say the output. So this is gonna be the output. Okay, so I have the output there and the string wrap here. So the string wrap is the one that contains the skinning and the let's say this string wrap itself. So, and the reason because we need these duplicates is you will see later that this one neutral, what it's gonna do, it's gonna take care of the recovering the shape, and the output is gonna pipe this to as in a plane shape. Okay, so I'm just gonna shrink wrap this, and here I want to shrink wrap against the head slide, that is this one. So select this one, head slide, and where's my deformation, shrink wrap, and check out the options. So we have the closest, and I'm just gonna apply. Cool. And with the G for repeat action, I'm gonna repeat on the other side. And now I'm just gonna check it out here, the information. So tangent smooth, we have inflation, we have shape preservation. So there is one I want to use first. I'm just gonna put smooth to 1 in both. So let me edit both at the same time. So remember these parameters because we need to repeat it again, and you will see why. So now I want here on the shape preservation to enable, and maybe to put 5 steps, and here reproject per step, so things like that. And the reason because we want to repeat this is because now it projected, and I'm gonna try to explain this with a little draw here. So this is our surface. Let's say this is the surface. Oh, nice, like this. And with, let's say with red, I'm just gonna paint this is the eye itself. So the distance between the surface and the eye is this big. So when the shrink wrap is projecting this distance. So if you have this projection from far, the precision, it's gonna be smaller because it needs to travel to project. So in order to avoid that, when you slide, it makes little jumps and creates like a little like inconsistencies on the sliding, we want to get this as closer as possible for the first projection. So from the original projection, the distance is going to be really small. So this is going to avoid jumps on the skinning. And to show you this, can do something. I think it's better in image than explanation. So I'm just gonna take again my joints here, just select these ones and skin for the left side. Just bind the skin, and now take the rights, these 4, and skin again for the right side. Cool. So I have it there. Well, let me hide this so we just have the mask there. And now it's important to have this in the right order, and this is not the right order. So just gonna all inputs here, so just the order here. And here the order. Cool. So now when I move, already it's quite smooth. But let me see if I can. Let's this put to 0, and again this to 0. Shape preservation and energy preservation steps are like this. Let me see if I can get something here around this area. You see this weird bubbling thing that it has? And here with the smooth activated, the wobbling is smaller, but you may find something. But now let's say with just want to activate this and put this to 5 again. So now I'm just gonna delete the history here. Okay, so I've just delete the history, and that's bad. I delete the history not in the reset position. That's take care with that. Just reset everything. Now just delete the history now. And now when I reproject again, so I repeat the same operation that I did before. So I'm just gonna deform, stream wrap. But you see that it's a minimum the difference that when I projected this one, that it's still like, oops, this one that went that far. This one, it's getting very close here. And without activating the shape preservation or the target smooth level, if I, of course I don't have the skinning, just 1 second. It's still laggy, so I guess it's not the OBS. But now you can see when I slide again that even without the smoothing on the projection or the by the way, this is the other way, of course. You don't see anything because the order is not updated. Shoop. Okay, now just gonna show. So you can see here that this wobbly thing that was happening before, obviously it's deforming, that's normal, but it's not happening. And that's what I was mentioning before, like when we have the other one. So that's the reason, because we need to repeat this and we need to reproject and use this. So now that I reproject second time, and of course if I wait a second. I was showing that without the what? It's still like it's stable. I don't know. Maybe you will see on the video recording, but I think I was testing without this active. Anyway, so that's how it works, and that's the reason, because we need to reproject 2 times, one to get closer, the other to get the final behavior. So here, remember, I didn't make this reprojection yet, so I need to just be sure I'm in the reset position, just delete all my history and repeat again. And now what I can do is, because I know I need to switch the order later, I can make the skinning first and later make this string wrap. That's also valid, and probably it's the best way to do it instead of changing the order later. So hit the slide. not in mGear, but string wrap. Okay. Okay, come on. Good. Okay. String wrap. Just this to 1. And not this. I just want on here 5. Reprojection first step. And here is something important. I think I forgot to do that before, but it's okay. It's if you deform your sliding geometry, in this case this one, if you deforming this, it's gonna become really slow. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep this like a static mesh and slide on top. If your sliding geometry it's gonna be animated, you're gonna have a serious like penalty on the performance. So just take care with that. Okay, save, important. Yeah, I think this tutorial is more about saving than anything else. I didn't crash yet, huh? That's great. Okay, so now that we have that, but of course now the eye it's like hidden on the surface. So what we want to do now is recover this this thing, and the order to recover is we need to plug both to this one to the output. And why I don't plug it to the other one? Well, basically if I plug this skin class, I mean, can be like a post deformation, plane shapes, things like that, but the best way that I have found is like to plug it in a different object. So what I'm gonna get, it's the neutral slider and the output, and create a plane shape, and again the neutral. Oh come on, this is super slow. Wow. Okay, and neutral, sliding, and the. Oh well, let me. Did I plug the left to the right? Yes, I did it. Nice. Okay, let's delete the node. Repeat. Left, please don't mistake like me, because I have left, right, and here right, left. That's a good excuse. Okay, like that. Look at that. Now it's it faster. Okay, right, deform. So middle click, it will also apply the deformation. So now I can just show the output, show this, and show this. And oh, by the way, the output, I just remember something. I did something wrong here. Sorry for that. The output should be a duplicate of this one when it's in the reset position. Because now, if I activate both plane shapes, it's gonna double transform. You see, whoop, it's gonna get in. And we don't want that, of course, because this is not a good solution. So I'm just duplicate this one with the current shape that you can see it's inside. So I'm just gonna get this one and call it output, and same thing here, and repeat. So left, and plane shape, and now left, right, sorry, and repeat. And now we can activate both plane shapes, and you see recovering the original shape. So that's the last part of the process. Sorry for the mistake before. I just wanted to duplicate all up front, but didn't remember that you need to do it that at the end, or when you do this original merge thing. So right now what we have is this, that it's sliding, and just forget for a second on the topology, but you can see now even it's getting a little funky here, but it's not crossing like it was doing before. Also, you can see you can project like this. So the last thing I want to do is to smooth the skinning. So I'm just gonna go to this one, skin tools, and again this one. It's super slow, I don't know. I'm just gonna smooth it quite a lot. And I need to do the same for the other side. Normally, again, I will create an intermediate or create this as a mirror and then only create one side and mirror to the other side. But for this tutorial, I think it's getting quite long already. So I'm just gonna skip that and do it just with the eyeballing. 1 second, I have this. And this is not, oh nice. Let me double check that this is there, it's there, this is good. And here probably I just forgot to do this one, so no big deal. Yeah, right, there's only 3. Should have 4. Okay. This one. Bind. Yes, thank you. And bind again. Okay, just saving. Please save, yes. And again, we need to double check that the inputs are in the right order, so we have this skin cluster before this ring wrap. So that's important. Not this one. Skin cluster. And yeah. Okay, now when I move, obviously in a like reasonable range of motion, you will have this eye mask that is sliding on the head and is keeping his proportions. You can now twist it. You can also scale like this, so you can create this kind of effects. You may wonder why it's not scaling like this. There is a way to do it. You need to connect the scaling in a different way so it's scaling proportional. But I guess I let you to do that. I will fix that on the final rig when we release it for the animators, but I'll let you to dig how to do that part. For the moment, the last step on this tutorial will be to connect back this to the original eye, so it's moved with the rig. So I just can now come here and hide everything. Now I can just unhide the rig, so you can see this one is moving together, but the eye is not yet connected, so that's the only part that remains. So now I just need to take the output, take this one, and just deform plane shape. And activate this one, and same for the right side, so the output to the final eye. plane shape. And that's it. Now we have this moving. And let's check the deformation. Remember at the beginning of this tutorial I was saying, like, if you move like this, if you deform too much, probably it's not gonna slide nicely. Let's try. So you can see it's sliding quite nice, but you see here, maybe in some situation you may find that it's not as good as you expected. So let me do something more maybe extreme. Maybe this one. Maybe it's quite extreme. Let's see what we get here. You see here now it's not working as expected. So, and here same thing. You're gonna get some weird situations. But in general, I mean, if it's just a little, like the regular, like to give a little like dynamic pose or something, it's gonna work nicely. And you can control now the eyes of this spider. Probably you can polish more the skinning and create the connections to make this scaling work properly. But for the rest is done. This is how I do many things. When you need to slide the stuff and you need to deform stuff on one element on top of the other, you can do it this way. It's not gonna affect too much your performance and your rigs, and you can get a really nice result with this. So that's it for this tutorial, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.